All right, everybody, we're about to get started this morning. Hopefully have a repeat of yesterday. Yesterday was a really, really good way to start the week. And we had about 9 trades yesterday overall for about 9 wins. So we didn't actually have a losing trade yesterday. Now, I'm not trying to make that a expectation going into today, but I wouldn't complain if it happened again. I just don't think it's going to. I think today's still going to be a good day regardless. So far starting the day nicely. Again, we've got that swing on ZAPP, which I'm still up about 10% on. I did sell close to 33% of that yesterday, maybe a little bit more. Actually got close to a half sold on it. So that's already getting down to close to risk-free so far. That was from 11.18 to about 13.60s or so yesterday. So not too bad at all. And just crossing my fingers that we can get some pretty good opportunities today. Pre-market so far has been a little bit slow. I'm sure you guys have noticed. So I didn't play anything in pre-market today. There really wasn't a whole lot of opportunity. The scanner is frozen. Let me fix that real quick. Hold on here. All right, let's restart the scanner. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity this morning in pre-market, so haven't traded anything yet. Just kind of waiting to see what wants to come to life here before the bell. We're going to go through everything here and see if there's anything that I particularly like. I know we have a few setups on the nightly watch list that I do like for today, and so we will be looking at that. Here we go. Okay. Scanner is fixed. All right, so let's go through our gappers and see what we like, if we like anything at all. And if you guys could also just let me know if you have sound or not. That way we can go ahead and get cranking away. Screen though? Yeah, that's right. Let me get the screen up. Okay. All right, GG, Silo. So I was looking at Silo this morning, and I might end up watching it into the open today. My only concern with Silo was the lack of range to the upside. So on Silo, we have sitting here at 240. We've also got this 260 right overhead as well. So there's not a whole lot of clean range to the upside. I kept on watching it off pullbacks this morning over VWAP, and it's just the quality of the setup really isn't there, and I didn't want to settle for a setup that isn't quite up to par with what I would typically look for. And that's the biggest thing on a morning like this when you come in and you see hardly any gappers in pre-market. You've got to just tell yourself, look, if it's not perfect, I'm not going to be trading it. And so this is a great example here of one where I just can't really find a good setup on until we get the break of the PM highs. So if we can actually get the break of the PM highs over that daily level that we're talking about at 260, then you might be able to watch this, right? And looking at the daily from there, it's a matter of, okay, do we have range over 260 then? If we've got range over 260, then maybe we can play it. And in this case, we actually have, again, a limitation at 285 and 3. So there's really not a whole lot of range on it just at all, because over 2.4, you've got 2.6. Over 2.6, you've got 2.8. Over 2.8, you got 3. And it's just like you're kind of bound to these 20-cent intervals. And I know it seems like enough. You're like, well, that's almost 10%. But from an incentive standpoint, those buyers are going to run out of incentive far before you get to that 10% range. And so for that reason, I don't think it's going to really follow through or trade too clean today. But we can still watch it. Maybe it trades cleaner than I'm expecting, and we can try to play it. But as of right now, those are kind of my thoughts on Silo. And I doubt we play it today. I really do doubt that we play it today. But that's, the best setup that we have, and it looks the best. The 5-minute looks fantastic. It's starting to just soak up over VWAP here for a possible leg back up into the open. But I just really do feel like that leg at the bell, if it does leg higher at the bell, is just going to be a massive trap where it sends, longs just back under the opening low. So I feel like it might get a test of 2.6. It might get a test of 2.7, but it's not really something that I want to be a part of for that reason. Let's see, WNW, don't like, SPRC, BDRX, a lot of these. There's just not much in pre-market this morning. We've got cost this morning, KOSS, which has some decent volume again. Typically, like we talked about last week, this one doesn't trade too clean, but it does look like this morning that it's doing some pretty good numbers here. So we might want to watch this morning over VWAP if you want to keep an eye on this off pullbacks. then you can definitely do that. I'll be watching it over 975. It's got range here today to about a 12. You got 12 and let's see, 12 and 13. So we can watch cost today out of the open if it continues to find buyers like this over that 975. At that point, you would have the range here up into the 12s and 13s today potentially on this little hourly curl setup. So we can watch this one today. It's not a bad look, you know, as long as it can find heavy buyers out of the open. Then we've got that range back up into the 12s and 13s. So we can definitely do that. Let's go ahead and put that up on the list for now. And again, this is on KOSS over 975. I don't like it yet, but going out of the bell today, I want to see it base and just find buyers out of open. And then we can just kind of hop on the trend here off pullbacks and see if we can't get the move up into the ranges at 12 and 13. All right, so we've got KOSS watching off of 975 for buyers. Again, I don't like it yet, but I do like it closer or out of the bell, depending on how this continues to set up. AEON was one of our biggest plays from yesterday. We played this yesterday. What was the play here? It was something crazy. It was 248 to like 340. So it was a massive play. It was the last one of the morning before we ended the stream, and that thing went wild. And it doesn't look too good for today. We played it really, really well yesterday, but not really feeling it. Not really feeling it. So right now we're going to be watching KOSS into the open, and that is the only leading gapper that I am really fond of at all. And again, I'll be watching it after the bell. I'm not going to be trading it here in pre-market because the thing with cost, the spreads on it are just insane. It's got 30-cent spreads, and that is going to just crush you trying to trade that this morning in pre-market. So I'd much rather just sit back and wait. You've also got GME. You've got GameStop with some action this morning, and honestly, I want to look at it. Honestly, I really want to look at GameStop. This is some nice volume here this morning in pre-market, which makes sense. That's why cost is moving here as well, that meme sympathy. I would be watching GameStop today, and I'd honestly just want to see it hold over. Let's see, we're at 28.30 now. Really, I just want to see it hold over that 27 from yesterday, and you've got range to about 31. You've got range to 31 and 34 on GME. So watch GME today for pullbacks out of the bell. You've got GME off of, or we'll say over. We've got GME over 31 bucks. Range to 31 bucks over 27. We've got range. I'll say range to 30. I'll say range to 30 and 33. I like to be a bit more conservative when it comes to looking for range. But the thing with this, again, is similar to yesterday with the DJT sympathy setups. If GME does not continue after the bell, neither will KOSS. So KOSS is only going to be moving if GME does, right? They're both meme sympathies. So we'll have to sit back and wait and see. But as of right now, I'll just watch the pullbacks. Watch for the pullbacks out of the bell, see where it wants to set up for us. And then we can go from there. Obviously, it's going to be more so like a 27.50. I need it to hold more so than a 27. That'd be below pre-market lows. So we'll do 27.50 pullbacks. So right now we've got KOSS and GME, KOSS being the sympathy and GME being the lead runner of the morning. Let's see. How about KZIA? I'm not a fan. I'm not really a fan. I suppose you can watch it over 53 cents, but it's not one that I really love too much. It's one of those setups that's it's okay, but it's not really something that meets all of my specific criteria. Still looking really good on ZAPP today, though. And like I said, still holding a little bit more than a half of that. Took some profit on it yesterday. And we'll see where it wants to go today. Let's see. All right. So main watch, let's see, Silo. I said I didn't like range. I might watch this over 260. I may watch that over 260 for the range to 3. Out of open, we can do that. See if we can't get a nice move there at the bell. Maybe get a 10% move or so. I don't like it off the pullbacks I did earlier. I don't quite like it now. On the nightly watch list, we've got quite a few setups. Again, we talked about ZAPP already. That's not going to be a day trade idea today. That's merely just one of our current swings from Friday. Do not chase that, though. It's already quite a bit over entry. DATS, though, we do want to be watching heavily today. This thing looks pretty dang good off of its 30-minute pullbacks to the 50-day moving average. So watch this for pullbacks out of the bell as long as it holds over 160. We'll say 159. Give it a little bit of room. I either like it over 159 or over 210. So I like it either way, but I would obviously prefer to get it over 159. Bit more of an edge that way off the pullbacks. Not a bad look. We've got QS to watch today. QS we're watching over yesterday's high of day of 868, which we've already broken this morning. So it's going to be a matter now of can it find buyers over that 868. We've got range here to 925 and 950. And this is on QS, the one that we played on Friday, really, really well. We're watching this again over 868 for the range to 925 and 950. So watching it over yesterday's highs and Friday's highs. And last but not least, we've got NVAX to also go over real quick. We're watching this for pullbacks today over 1410. So pretty hefty pullbacks on this one today, but it looks pretty good for a possible late day reversal off of the 1410. I know this is a pretty large drawdown that I'm looking for. And I'm not too sure that we'll actually get that today, but if we do, I wouldn't mind playing it. I like the setup. So you like this over 1410 for the range back to 1550. The range is back to 1550 and possibly 17. I'm going to go with 1550 for now. 17 is a bit out of reach for today. ZAPP back to 1279 here. Nice little curl back up into the open. And the entry alert on that was at 1150s on Friday. Already almost at 13s again this morning. Hopefully track higher again today. All right. So right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I like for the open today. GME is holding very well. Costs, I don't really love too much, but GME is holding extremely well here going into the open off of VWAP. Really want to be watching that one closely for pullbacks out of the open as long as it maintains over 2750. We've got the range there today. I mean, you've got range of 31 bucks. So you've got pretty significant range there on GME today. And I do want to be watching that one closely. Let me get all of my charts pulled up. Make sure you guys do the same. We've got about 15 minutes. And just pull all of your charts up. Get all of your levels marked up. Hopefully most of you did that last night with the nightly watch list. But if not, make sure you do spend the next 5 minutes or so doing that. Quickly get all of your charts up, mark the levels up, set price alerts if needed. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know as well before we do get into the open today. Should be a good day, though. We've got some pretty good setup that I like. Gappers are a little bit slimmer than yesterday, but it's about the same. And yesterday was a really, really good day. ZAPP testing the highs again at 1290s. We might get the new highs on that swing today. We really might. We're nearing it already in pre-market. A really nice move. Arun, where can you see placed order? Are you referring to mine or yours? There's 13 now on ZAPP. Do I still like DATS? Yeah, we just went over it a couple minutes ago. Yep, still like it. You're okay. Let's see, GME having $3 of range needing to be over 27.50. Would I be risking a target of 50 cents? No. So I think that you're overcomplicating it. You're making it a little bit too technical, right? So it's really situational. It's really situational. So it's not like, okay, I need to be risking 50 cents per share. I need to be risking this amount per share. It all depends on where it sets up for entry. It all depends because the risk might be different, right? We're not necessarily risking 27.50, right? We might end up risking 28 or, 28.30 or 29. And you never know until we actually get there. And at that point, we can say, okay, this is where I need price to hold above. That is my risk. This is my entry and this is my range. Now, how do I calculate to, get my proper share size? So it's something that you can't really do until you actually get to that trade. You know what I mean? So you actually got to wait for it to set up for you first. And then once you have all those pieces, then you can go from there. All are in 5 minutes time frame. For the most part, yes. I would suggest it. GME holding up very well going into the open here. Holding up very, very well. We've got about 12 minutes. I'll be watching GameStop pretty close here, guys. Watch it off the dips. Watch it off the dips. I'm going to take about a third size here on GME. Right under $28. And looking to risk here about 27.75. It's about 25 cents per share of risk, 30 cents per share of risk. So keeping it kind of tight for now, but I just want to really watch this into the open here real quick with smaller size. See if it doesn't want to get buyers back up into the bell and open around 28.30. Get a quick pop to the 28.9 area out of the bell. So again, a third of my usual size, very, very small size here. See if I can't get a little move going into the bell. Already up really nice on my ZAPP swing today as well. So I've got some cushion to take a little bit of risk here going into the open. I'm just curious though where this wants to head. It looks pretty good and we've got plenty of range. It's setting up really, really nicely into the bell here. Forming a heavy base here over the 28. We've got about 10 minutes until the open. My fill here was exactly $28 as you can see on the screen. And again, only risking a third of my usual size in this trade. So again, very light risk. All right, so for today though, we've got quite a few things to look at. Definitely got quite a few things to look at. And looks like it's going to be a pretty active day. Again, make sure you're not oversized on GME. It's just a higher risk setup here with very small sizes. Take into the bell, see if we can't get a few more dollars of cushion under our belt before we get into the regular size trades after the open today. Again, yesterday was a fantastic day, one of the biggest days of the month so far. I think it was the biggest day of the month so far, actually looking back at the realized profits, because we had the swing work, we had 8-day trades work for us, and I think it was the biggest day of the month looking back. So today, hopefully similar. We've got KOSS, GME, SILO, DATS, QS, and NVAX. All look fantastic. And hopefully we get some new runners as well after the open. Yesterday we had SCNI and some stuff like that set up for us. AEON set up for us nicely yesterday. And so hopefully we can get some new stuff like that as well, which should make today an even easier day. But Just be picky today. If we've got to sit back for a little bit, we've got to sit back for a little bit and just be picky like we did yesterday. And even with sitting back yesterday, we still took our fair share of setups and, did awesome. So it's a matter of being picky, matter of being patient while the market does just slowly heat back up, because we were slow for a little bit there for like 2 weeks out of the holidays. Hopefully now finally we're going to get back into the swing of things as price action starts to heat back up. And we've got about 7 minutes, so make sure you have everything marked up, ready to go for the bell. Already nice and green this morning thanks to the ZAPP swing in pre-market. And right now just have very, very small size on GME to see if it wants to curl up into the bell. If it does not, then I'll just cut it for my third, my third risk. And we can sit back and play it again after the bell. Well, 7 minutes to go. And again, only have a third size on GME. Very, very small size, higher risk setup to play with some profits to go into the bell, just to see what it wants to do. Getting bought back up off VWAP. Back to 27.94. Again, I want to see it crack back up through 28.10 to 28.40 here going into the bell. That way it gives us enough room for profit takers to come in, and it still holds over that 27.70 that needs to hold. That way they can still find buyers and ramp it up through the 28.50s and so on. Which is ultimately what I'm looking for here. A quick pop to 28.50. I would be more than happy with that. If I can get there and just take my profit, then I will do that and then go back and look for pullbacks. Five minutes until open. And again, just like yesterday too, we're going to be waiting about 3 to 5 minutes after the open for things to set up for us, and then we can go from there. All right, so right now we're just waiting. Waiting. We have all of our plans ready. Waiting to see how this pans out as well. Those of you on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and shut those streams down to get ready for the bell today. So far, really only one trade in pre-market this morning, and really nice profits already this morning on ZAPP swing as well. So again, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial to watch me trade live every day, and I will see you guys there. Peace, guys.